Jarrett Gerke is one of the owners here at Green Thumb Garden Center, and he's going to give us a few tips on, first of all, pruning some fruit trees. What have we got here?
Well, right now we've got a cherry and two different apples. The cherry is a Lapin's cherry, so a nice medium-sized fruit tree on a dwarfing rootstock so it doesn't get huge and monstrous. And we'll show you how to prune them and keep them maintained for planting this spring.
Okay. It's a little early to plant them yet, is that correct?
Now's a good time to start. So pretty much as soon as the ground's thawed out and not frozen solid, you can start planting. You want to make sure that the ground isn't frozen solid because you can't get a shovel in and then the roots can't get out very easily.
Okay, now you are getting a lot of people excited about an early spring, but it's still early and we don't want to be jumping the gun.
Yeah, there's a lot of plants that you can't put into the ground right now. You don't really want to start doing any of your seeds for your later summer vegetables in the ground, like peppers and those kinds of things, tomatoes. It's still too early. If you have a heated mat inside your house, and you can get the heat mats here with a little greenhouse dome, you can start seeds inside and that gets you an earlier crop, but they still can't go out for quite a while till the frosts are done.
Okay, and we have a big frost coming. You're always looking ahead at these things?
Well, there's always some sort of frost in March, and there's a good chance we can get snow in March. Probably not this year, but you don't really want to run the risk of doing it with those kinds of soft plants. Most of our other crops that you'd see in the greenhouse here, they're all good to go outside now. And everything outside on our site, and generally most plants, conifers, things like that, trees, great time to plant them. The earlier you get them in the ground, the longer they have to root out.
I've been thinking about hauling out the lawnmower, and Walter, who works here as well, you'll probably see him if you come visit. He says it's too early to seed your lawn. You need it at least, what, 10 degrees at night before you want to get into that?
That's ideal. You want to make sure there's no frost at all, because the frost will lift the seed and kill the seed once it germinates. So you'll lose your newly seeded lawn and the birds come and pick off the rest. If you wait until it's warmed up to that 10 degrees at night, you'll get a faster germination and you'll get started right away with your growing versus a longer delay. So you'll see results quicker as well.
Good. You're making me feel like I'm less behind. I'm not behind at all. We're thinking ahead of the game. Okay, we've got a limited amount of time, so let's show us a good way to prune some fruit trees, because different people have different theories, I hear.
Yeah, everyone's got their own ideas. This is what we've done as our family for a long time and how we treat it as the strongest growing tree. First things first, make sure you have a really good pair of sharp pruners. Always give them a sharpen before the season. These are my Falcos. They're already about 8-9 years old and third blade through on them. We use them for propagation in the back, so they hold up really well. And
about 90% of what's here is propagated on site, is that right?
So about 90% of the nursery stock, aside from vegetables and annuals, is actually grown on site. The majority of the rest of that is selected from on the island. And if we have to go to Vancouver, it's handpicked by us over there, so we go and take a look at the crops before we order them.
Okay, I keep saying we have a limited time, and then I keep asking more questions, so I'm the one that's...
What I would suggest, if you have a bigger yard and you're going to be running your lawnmower underneath, make sure you get rid of the low branches right away. This one has some good top branching up here, so it's already got a crown. If you can only get low branching, you can start out the low branches, and what we would recommend then is take it back to about a third or half of the entire growth. So then you just want to cut it only maybe a ½ inch, quarter inch above the bud that you want to get rid of, or what you want to keep. So you cut it there, and the next branches will form out this way and then this way, and you make it a third one down below.
And you don't want the buds pointing in towards...
You never want to use a bud that's going to go straight up or in, unless it's the very top bud on the tree. You want that one to be the highest on the entire plant on the center stem. So this one, it's easy to tell. It's a nice long straight center stem. So the way we prune from there on a small tree is you go to the top, you pick a nice looking bud. As long as it's healthy and not dead, it's all fine. These buds aren't going to push this year. So you want to make sure you go probably about there. So we'll take that one off, again just above the cut, or the cut just above the bud, and then from there we work our way down. So we go to the next lowest branch, and you want to pick a bud that's going to point out. This doesn't have many options, so we aren't going to cut it back too far. We'll just take the tip out of it. Okay,
we're going to leave you with that, and just the tip of the iceberg. 3 generations of knowledge here at Green Thumb Garden Center and Nursery. I had the opportunity recently to sit down with a former principal dancer from the National Ballet of Canada. Here is that interview.